as India ushers in a new era of socio-economic development. Both the topic of project management and the required mindset to execute such challenging projects have never been more relevant. Keeping with the theme, Delhi was the venue of the recent Global Symposium 2014 on Project Mindset, the Key to Competitiveness, hosted by Project Management Associates. This event provided a forum for policymakers and members of industry and academia to debate and disseminate information key to transforming India's organizational culture to a project mindset.
Namaskar. Now let me tell you what project mindset means. And I would say the first level of project mindset, first definition of project mindset is when a man is intelligent, he thinks about the whole picture first. It's not the election of 3 years or 5 years. We have to build a society for 100 years. Long-term sustainable. So look at the whole first and then do based on the whole, develop the parts. Look at the big picture and then do the details, the small details. Wearing reading glasses and having 2020 vision of the future simultaneously. You should be able to see the future and implement in your state life. Go be on the balcony and on the dancing floor simultaneously. It's a very tough job. You have to see the future and do this. Let us collectively build a project-oriented India. Together, we can build India, which is project. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Namaskar, good morning. I believe any aspect of life is management, and it could be a project management. We can have different words for it, but it's certainly a management exercise which we all have in our life. But for a person like me, when he has to discuss and talk about project management, I would just recall, in government, what do you do when you talk about projects and when you talk about policies? What do you do? I don't think many of us would recall, but if I have to recall what I did as a policy level for projects, I would recall my days as a civil aviation minister. Not many of you would recall, but I had a tenure for 1 year. And in that tenure for 1 year, I took 60 odd decisions for implementation of certain policies and projects. And out of that 60, 50 would be of very small nature, which I will not refer, but at least 10, which I know, created a revolution of air travel in this country. And most of us would not recall that whether it was the Delhi airport or the Mumbai airport, which was a brownfield airport, was modernized in the NDA regime when Atal Bihari Vajpayee, we amended the Airport Authority Act to see that a new project comes in, though it took a while to get created and was inaugurated by the subsequent government, which took the credit of creating that airport. Or whether it was Shamshabad in Bangalore or Devanali in Bangalore or Shamshabad in Hyderabad, those two greenfield projects were the brainchild of the NDA government, and we did the SOP for that to create that. And what you see today, and unfortunately after that, and all these smaller metro airports which you see in this country, which are small and swanky today, this 36 non-metro was planned in the year 2003, where we had decided to move from projects which were mortar and brick, we moved from steel and glass. And because that was the idea, because I still remember when I had a basic challenge to convince the airport authority to say that we are not going on brick and mortar anymore. It has to be steel and glass. And it was very difficult. Even the software which was required to make the drawings then for airports, which costed about 1 crore, which airport authority was absolutely reluctant to buy. But things, and if I have to see the policy decision in the aviation sector, the launch of the low-cost airlines, when Captain Gopinath walked up in my room and said that I want to set up a low-cost airlines. And when he talked about paperless tickets, when he talked about e-tickets then the secretaries in Government of India, when we had a meeting, they would look at him and think that what is he talking? And the entire club of the full cost carriers came together. They worked very hard to see that this low cost airlines does not come into existence. But actually it had to happen at that point of time. And it did happen. And even small things, I don't know, most of you would not know that after the 9/11 incident in New York, all the airlines across the world had decided to stop, and especially in India, that you cannot use mobile phones inside the aircraft once you step in. So I argued with the Director General of Civil Aviation. I said, if you are a passenger in a 747 and you are the first passenger, it takes almost 50 minutes for the first passenger and the last minute passenger to get in. So do you expect a person who's sitting in the aircraft not to use his mobile phone? So then it was an argument, and I wrote on the file, till the doors are closed. And then they made a policy till the doors are closed so that you can use your mobile phone till the doors are closed, and after that you can't. And then after that, for 7 years, I ceased to be a civil aviation minister. For 7 years in consultative committee, because I had lost that authority to make a decision. And it took me 7 years as a part of the consultative committee team to tell them that you can use your mobile phones when you move out of the active runway. So I asked the successive minister, Praful Patel, so now when you hear that you can use your mobile phones once you hit the rapid exit track, it is also my effort, even outside the government. Everything is a project management. I must thank all of you to be here, assembled here to discuss issues on mindset, on the key competitiveness. It's a great day for me. Thank you once again for inviting me, and I congratulate all of you to be here for this occasion. Thank you very much.
The opening session, titled Project Management, Powering the Nation's Development, saw Dr. A.S. Pillai, the former Managing Director and CEO of BrahMos Aerospace, share his experiences in developing indigenous supercomputer and missile technologies without the reliance on foreign assistance. He implored project leaders to dare to think differently and travel into unexplored paths.
Project mindset is relevant for national prosperity. How it powers the national prosperity. You see any leader, he is called leader because he has got a vision to do, he has got a passion to do the work, he follows methods to control the activities. So he has got vision as well as he is able to manage the things better. So this is, if he knows the project management techniques, he will do a better job. So, national prosperity is powered by the competitiveness of the nation, competitiveness of the industries, competitiveness of the products. Then only the nation will prosper. That means technology and innovations have to come. This technology and innovations means you need infrastructure to do that. So that means funding on building up on a product. That means funding has to come continuously. That means you have to increase your sales. That sales you can increase better if the customers like the product. Customers will like the product if the product is good. If the product is good, if it has to be good means the employees have to put their heart into that. Then only product will be good. So employee means he should get satisfied with the organization. So the organization is managed by innovative management system. That comes from the creative leader. So leader, if he has got project mindset, then he manages everything well, finally leading to the nation's prosperity. That is the theme of what I taught. Now, for example, the BrahMos, let me take. When the world has gone through a cruise missile, which is subsonic, speed is less than the sound, we didn't follow them. We wanted to make supersonic first attempt itself. So we have partnered with Russia to make a joint venture so that we can use their technology and our technology, the ratio of almost 50-50, so that we realize a product to tune our requirement finally, but make it universal. So that's what we have done. That is an outstanding example of project management, how we can use the capabilities, harness the best talents, use little resource, get a big advantage. That's what we have done.
In the second session, G.S. Krishnan, Program Manager and Chief Knowledge Officer of NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, elucidated on using project mindset as a key to competitiveness. He stressed upon the importance of the understanding of basic project management principles so that it becomes a common language in any organization.
My topic of presentation was project mindset as a competitive key to competitiveness. Okay, the one example I'll talk about is the first one, which is Cassini. First of all, Cassini is an interplanetary mission where it has to go to Saturn by the use of gravitational assist from other in-between planets, so that the spacecraft doesn't have to carry a lot of fuel. So the spacecraft is going to take this high-gain antenna from Italian Space Agency, Huygens probe from ESA, and then launch and deploy the Huygens probe on Saturn. Okay. So that's the mission. Now it involved 261 scientists, 18 instruments, and therefore 17 countries. So all this, it was a very complex because each one had its own characteristics, its own culture, so multicultural aspect, multicultural organizations, so different cultures, and it's a nightmare to actually coordinate all that, and 17 different time zones. So imagine how to work with it, because Cassini was a project led from California. NASA other integration test was here. So from NASA management was from local, Washington, which is 3 hours difference between California and Washington. And then there is a 6-hour difference between Italian Space Agency and this. And then same with East European Space Agency, 5 hours difference. So all this, and then Japanese were providing something. So all these complicated missions. So you had to take care of it. Finally, of course, with multicultural understanding, with the mutual respect, and the accommodations were made in the decision making, so that you could come up with a good decision that will benefit everybody and also make the mission a successful one.
Adesh Jain, the National President of Project Management Associates and the Chairman of International Institute of Projects and Program Management, was the third speaker to address the large gathering at the symposium. He explained that project mindset is a growth or change-oriented mindset. It is imperative to first look at and be clear of the end results before starting the project.
Basically, project mindset is a different mindset. It's a mindset which encounters new challenges, which looks at new challenges to confront with, which looks at future. Project mindset is towards looking at the whole first and then looking at its parts. Unless we see the whole, we cannot implement parts, as later on there will be a problem of integration. So that is one definition of project mindset, theme of this Congress symposium. The other one is project mindset is a combination of art and science. Science is what we can measure. It's like an iceberg which you can see. Science is what we can see. The art or the hidden behavior is like art, which we may not be able to see. Is submerged. So therefore, how do we look at the combination of art and science to convert a vision into reality? After all, project is undertaken to build future. The word project is derived from a Latin word called projectum. Projectum means to throw something forward. And future is not known. So the third way of looking at unknown is a combination of known and a combination of unknown and knowns. Unknown unknowns, known unknowns, and knowns. So therefore, the presentation which I made this morning summarizes the characteristics of project mindset, and then how do we take full advantage of this mindset to create future which we want to create.
The day's proceedings ended with the final session that focused on managing the human capital in a project. Manas K. Mandal, the Director General, Life Sciences at the Defence Research and Development Organization, explicated that people management is the biggest challenge while executing projects.
Any kind of mindset is developed in order to suppress our mind. In fact, we are all afraid of our own mind, let me tell you. Because if you try to enter into your mind, you will find that the whole universe you have to learn. Therefore, we have developed certain mindset, logical tools to deduce some conclusion about others. So, if you have got a mindset of certain issues, of certain principles, of certain individuals, of certain organizations, it quickly gives you answer. We have a tendency to develop this mindset simply because of the fact that we love understanding others without realizing that understanding others is a very easy thing, understanding oneself is a very difficult thing. And understanding others after you understand yourself probably is the toughest job. For improvement of understanding about yourself, I do not ask you to, being a scientist, to do meditation or do to yoga or go to a guru. What I simply try to say that let us have not any misconception about human being. Let us not have our own mindset. Let us understand our beautiful mind. Let me give you one example. In order to have a beautiful mind, you should be able to honestly tell something. For example, your boss is saying something to do, and you know that you would not be able to do that. You still don't know how to say no. We'll say that, sir, koshish karenge. How do the boss knows? How do the boss know that you are capable of doing that, yet you could not do that? Because you could not do that since it is not part of your capability. But you could not say at that point of time. Having the ability how to say no is not known to us. As a society, we are grown to tell lies in several such aspects. That's a mindset issue. That's a mindset issue. In organization, we want to be very Western. Outside the organization, we try to become very culture-centric and Eastern. These conflicts remain with us, and that affects our performance. The casualty is performance.
The symposium was an apt platform for a number of expert speakers who addressed many facets of project management, including methods and challenges.
The drive for competency has to come from leadership. Individuals, of course, always want to be recognized as professionals. But the individuals will choose to be recognized if their leaders, if they're managers, if they're bosses, give it credit. So I think it's now up to government and it's up to senior management and executive in businesses to support people, to give them the credit for the work they do. Because it's a very powerful thing. 1/3 of the world's GDP is created through project management. We have to be good at it.
Well, the project management is basically all about efficient use of resources, do things in time. Because if you do things within the budget and in time, it leads to optimal utilization of resources. And I think this is very much required. Unfortunately, very often we find in our country that there are serious project overruns and the cost overruns, and they have a huge adverse impact on the returns of the project. This country is, I would dare say that we are in the project build-up phase, and therefore the need for us to build up the competence in project management is really very pressing. And I think we need to take all possible measures to see that this kind of awareness is built up and we build up a strong cadre of efficient project managers across this country.
To me, the project mindset is 3D: discipline, dedication, and delivery. If these three things are there, all your projects will go in time, will go within the budget. Your GDP growth will go high. You will become more competitive. So this is what is the project mindset.
Today we all know that when we look at any behavior, any work, the science is a very small part. It's the art that really has an impact. So the science, the technology part is important, definitely very important. But it's not the be-all and the end-all. Even more important is the non-technical part. And when I say non-technical, what do I mean? Remember, it's human beings. It's the people that make the projects. So when I have a project mindset, I want to look at the project in such a way, what do I want to achieve in the end? So with that in mind, I can have a better look at what I want. My organization has a strategy. This is what I want to implement. How good is this project to implement that? So I'm going to be looking across 3 key domains where I'm going to be saying, okay, I have technical skills, but I have behavioral skills. And since the project is not done in isolation, projects are dynamic, they're living. We are looking at what is happening in the world and moving from there. So we have to have problem solving, we have to have negotiation, we have to have leadership, we have to have all the qualities that build the people skills.
We see that both public sector and private sector, they are investing heavily in projects, but their projects are not moving forward. I would say that India has to achieve a very high rate of growth. We are at 5% now, we have to go at 9%, there is a gap of 4%. The question is, how could we do that? We see that projects worth rupees 10 lakh crores are held up. They are just not moving ahead. If we can make these projects work, certainly India goes from 5% to 9% and we become economy number 1 in the world. And therefore I think project management has a lot to do with the economic performance of India, both internally and also at the global level.
Major challenge is that we plan something, and when we plan something, we are not very serious that how different activities will be having correlation and how activities may hamper the other activities. Sometimes we are so much optimistic that we don't take care of about the uncertainties. So major challenge is that. Second thing is that when we are coming to the implementation stage, sometimes we take the things very lightly. Okay, we are having 1 year time, so this will be critical only after so and so time, not now. And when we reach to that stage, we found that some other activities coming in the way, which is making the things complicated, and then all our planning is fizzled out.
We must view the end first, what we want to do, and then take the journey, begin. We must choose the right projects first, and then do the projects right. PMA, as a national association of project professionals, is to provide a platform through which we could share the best practices in managing change, looking at behavioral component, technical component, and contextual components. IPMA's competency baseline, the unique in the world, on which they certify project professionals at different levels. Level A, Level B, Level C of IPMA is not just technical knowledge. It's just not tools and techniques which makes projects successful. What makes successful projects is to build teams, to have human capital. Knowledge per se is a scalar quantity. It has magnitude. But when you start applying knowledge in real life, in real applications, that is where we transform knowledge into competencies.